All right, hello, welcome to another reset video. If you're new here, I like to do seasonal and monthly resets, and I've been doing seasonal resets for a few years. It's actually been such a game changer, and the process has really developed over time. I'm gonna try to break down what I'm doing for my transition from spring to summer for this year and what that process is looking like for me at this point. So we're gonna start with the maybe not so exciting parts of the reset and then work our way up to the more fun elements in my opinion. But the first few portions of this are going to be taking place in my bullet journal. So we're starting with finance, then we're moving into my kind of spring favorites, my reflection, just taking stock in the highlights that I had this spring. And then I'm moving into the summer planning, summer goals. Then I'll talk through my summer TBR, my reading goals for the summer. And lastly, we'll put it all together into a mood board. So grab a cup of tea or put me on in the background while you do some cleaning or resetting of your own. And I'm gonna jump into the bullet journal to get started. Kicking off this reset, I wanted to show my quarterly finance spread, which really is just meant to hold myself accountable and ensure that I'm looking at my spending trends on a quarterly basis. I do log my spending in a separate Google spreadsheet and I review it right before filling this out. I have space here where I can fill in my current accounts at a glance, as well as a few lines to write out my thoughts or learning lessons of the quarter. I find that most often I end up writing what I'm most grateful for here in relation to money. And then I also have a little space to write a goal or two, which I used to use as a finance related reading list for the quarter. However, I have not been keeping up with that as much since I have been prioritizing other reading goals this year, but I'll say that this, combined with my weekly spending log spreadsheet, has been a massive help in gaining clarity around my finances. It has made me less likely to make impulse purchases while simultaneously giving me a sense of comfort and peace of mind without even being particularly complicated or difficult to keep up with. I've tried other systems in the past, usually budgets that sounded really great on paper, but were almost impossible to stick to in practice. And it turned out that simply tracking what I spend is enough for me. Getting into my spring reflection, this is just another form of gratitude journaling for me. Sometimes I'll write it out long form, sometimes I'll make a bulleted list, and this time I decided to make a little photo collage. I kind of wish I had printed these a little smaller. I was having trouble getting them all to fit, but one thing I love about bullet journaling over digital systems is the constraint of the page. As someone who likes to hoard things, especially memories, I find the limitations of pen and paper force me to be more discerning with what gets included. Some of my favorite memories of this spring included a visit to see my parents in April, doing yard work with my dad, renting a cabin with friends, getting a personal training certification, and starting a new ritual with my partner of watching Spy Family during our lunch together. This was such a creatively fulfilling season, and I found a lot of inspiration in watching channels like Melissa, aka Beware of Pity, Heather McClary, Reagan, aka Peruse Project, and Katie at Katie is Reading. Okay, let's jump into the summer goals and plans. I started by thinking about my values, which are health, relationships, and learning. My goals in health are to continue working on intuitive eating with my nutritionist and to get a pair of walking sneakers and start walking outside more. My relationship goals include visiting my parents this summer and visiting at least 3 potential wedding venues with my partner. My learning goals include making at least 1 video essay and to pick up more coaching hours and personal training hours where I can, and also work with at least 1 virtual client for personal training. Other plans for the summer are to go for a hike or 2, visit the beach, attend or host a barbecue, and hopefully to go camping. In terms of reading, I completed my first priority series of the year, which was The Lord of the Rings, and I'm still working on my second priority series, which is the graphic novel Invincible. There are 25 volumes and I'm up to volume 9, so I'd like to read 6 more volumes this season season to keep on track to finish that this year. In summer, I find that I'm usually in the mood to read more literary fiction, so I'm thinking my next priority series will be The Neapolitan Quartet by Elena Ferrante, which I started reading in the spring. I usually like to put any seasonally themed books here as well, but I only have one summer book, which is Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. It's a contemporary romance. So if you have any summer themed book recommendations, please let me know. But otherwise, I'm leaving this list intentionally short so I can do a little more mood reading this summer. Okay, so lastly, that brings us to the summer mood board. And I actually started working on this a couple months ago at this point. I like to scroll through Pinterest a little bit most mornings, so if I see something that looks summery and feels like it's a good fit for the season that I'm about to go into, I will start pinning it whenever I see it. So what I want to do now is just fill in some of the gaps of anything that I don't have on here yet and make sure that all of my goals are represented in some way, shape, or form. So let's take a look at what I have already. I remember I had already gotten a few photos for outdoor walks. I thought I did. Like this one's a good one because it kind of looks like one of the parks in Queens. And I like things to look very much like things I would see in my real life. I want it to be something that is within my reach to accomplish and within my power to get into my life if I just make a little initiative. So I'm not trying to make this a super unattainable type of vision board. I picked out a few outfits that have pieces kind of similar. Like I have a button down that's sort of like this. I have green t-shirt and black shorts. I definitely do this outfit if I wanted to. So I have some things for like hydration. I really want to focus on getting good hydration. Something that's maybe a little more realistic for me would be water with lime. I love doing seltzer with lime. So let's add one of those. Let's do seltzer lime. Let's see what comes up. And I just want something simple, ideally without any text. I'm not looking for a mocktail or a cocktail or anything like that. Ooh, this looks good. Coconut lime ultimate summer hydration. I'm guessing that's coconut water, seltzer, and lime juice. Heck yeah, I'm gonna pin that to summer. That looks very hydrating. Okay, my neighbors upstairs just started vacuuming, so hopefully that's not too noticeable. I swear they vacuum every day. Like I want to get on their level of how much they vacuum. I did want to add some hiking. I want something maybe like Catskills because that's one of the closer mountain ranges to access from New York City. New York summer. Oh, I went there. Catskill Falls. I went there last summer. It was really beautiful, but it was so packed. Like obviously it's gotten on these lists of best places to visit from the city, and there were so many tourists. Let's see, I don't want like a list, I just want like a nice photo. Sometimes I've noticed if I add the word photography, I get a more aesthetic visual. Now we're getting into fall. I don't want anything fall. Honestly, this looks like a place near my hometown. Like these little boardwalks are really common to go through the wetlands because there's a lot of wetlands in New England, and it's some of the only areas that aren't like built up for residential or commercial use. So a lot of the hiking areas, you do see some of these little boardwalk pathways. Save that one. This kind of looks like where I went hiking in the spring. Let's see. Hiking core. Oh my gosh. There's so much from the Pacific Northwest. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. I think this is suitable. All right, let's see if I can find something for barbecue. I want like a small grill. Yeah, like this is something that we have. We have this little outdoor grill that you can literally carry. We keep it in an IKEA tote bag and we carry it to the park with us and we will set up and grill. All right, I want to look up like small barbecue. Small grill. Ooh, this is exactly what I was looking for. You've got so many bright vegetables. And then I think those are some chicken skewers, which I don't eat chicken, but I'm sure if I were going to a barbecue that I'd be with people who eat chicken. Let's save that. That is lovely. I love how they have the grilled tomatoes. I've never had tomatoes on the grill, so that's kind of fun. I've also been gravitating to really brightly colored photos for summer. Kind of riffing on that, I do like to do a lot of seasonal recipe pins for whatever fruits and vegetables are in season. That is like the bread and butter of Pinterest, is recipe content. I think I've already got a few in my board already. Let's see. I already got some blueberries and more water. And reading, of course. Go for a walk. Yep. I did pin that. I did. I try not to do too many little sayings because honestly, some of them are kind of silly. I like this one. I'm out here grinding, not grinding, grounding. Yeah, see, some of them can be like so repetitive, but sometimes you just gotta find one that works for you. It only has to make sense to you. True. Okay. Oh, I've been on these like kimchi rice cake tuna. I saw this and then I added tuna to this and it's actually so good. I kind of got myself sick of rice cakes already because I had them for like 4 days in a row, but I was pinning a few rice cake recipes. I didn't make these yet. I really want to try it. Rice cakes with peanut butter, banana, and chocolate. Looks so good. More fruit and Sudoku because I have this Sudoku book that I've been meaning to start using in the mornings and I keep forgetting about it. Oh, I love this one of the puzzle. It's so bright and this just screams summer to me. That coffee looks really gross though. Yeah, I've got a few for reading. I've got this tea here. Let's see. I love this photo too. This also felt very summery to me with these like bright oranges and blues. I love that. Okay, I guess I don't have that much recipe content. I have this one, which is, I just found this on TikTok, samjang, which I guess is gochujang. It's Korean condiments and you can put it on anything and it sounds really good. I guess I could do more Korean inspired foods since I'm kind of on that trend lately. Banchan. These all look a little more complicated than I would actually do. I need something a little more simple. Kimchi aesthetic. What's a kimchi aesthetic? Oh, this looks yummy. I don't really eat that much rice. I could make more rice. Kimchi fried rice. Yum. I should make more kimchi fried rice. I did just buy a whole big, large jar of kimchi. All right, this isn't really speaking to me. Let's go back. I was also just doing little pins of these like grocery flat lays. I love the idea of just having more fresh produce, ideally from a farmer's market, but you know what? Oh, I liked this used book store. Yeah, this is in the East Village. I've actually been here and I should actually try to go back since I've been going to the East Village more for work lately. All right, this is pretty thorough. I think we've got enough food. And then, yeah, more grilled veggies. Oh, that looks so good. So the last thing will be adding the books that I want to read. And I really like to find the specific books that I want to read, not just any books, but the specific books on my TBR. There's so much joy in reading a book and then opening up Pinterest and seeing the book that I pinned being the same book as what I'm reading. I don't know. I just love it feels like alignment. Like I'm setting an intention and then I follow through and that just feels really satisfying. So what books are we trying to do? We're doing the Neapolitan novels. I always spell Neapolitan wrong. Neapolitan. Yes, this. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I love the flat lay. Summer. Let's see if there's any others. Because if I find a better one, I will replace it. Like this is all right, but it's not as appealing. Like the contrast in colors here is really satisfying. And being able to see the covers of the books. Oh yeah, and then since I want to make a lot of progress on Invincible, even though it's like a year-long goal, I want to include it on my summer TBR because I need to make progress. I need to catch up because I was really slacking in spring. Okay, I think this is stuff from the show. Let's see, comic? That could be a contender. It's definitely a little more violent than I usually gravitate towards. It's not something I would have picked up on my own. I've mentioned this multiple times. I'm reading it because it's one of my fiance's favorite pieces of media. Think, Mark, think. Invincible Comics aesthetic. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, this is what I had in mind. Let's go summer 2025. All right, I think I'll just go with this one. And here is the final product. So I have a little widget on my phone that will pull a few of these photos each day at random. So I look at this every single day and I love having visual reminders of the things that I am most interested in at the moment. I just think that that's so much fun and so satisfying. Thank you so much for coming along for this summer reset, and I'm so excited to get the season started. We are already having some hot days. Today hit 90 degrees. So we're officially, I think, in summer at this point, even if technically it starts in a couple days for me. But it should be summer by the time you're seeing this. So I'm wishing you a really happy summer, a really productive and exciting season. I really like to lean into the different seasons, and summer is definitely one of activity and getting out there and putting in time and effort into the things that you care about. So I'm hoping that it is a fruitful summer season for you. Let me know if there's anything that you're doing to reset and how you like to transition into the different seasons, or just quarterly reset, however you want to frame it, whatever works for you. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Other than that, that brings us to the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, please leave me a beach umbrella or a sun emoji or anything that feels like summer to you in the comments, and I will see you in another video soon.